Vice President Kashim Shettima says President Bola Tinubu is working tirelessly behind the scenes for all citizens kidnapped in Oyo State. Heightened crisis in the NDC as some aspirants raise alarm over the conduct of the party primaries. Welcome to the program, and thank you for joining us. This is Politics Today, live on China's television. I'm Sean Wakimale, live for you here from our Abuja studio. Let's tell you that Vice President Kashim Shettima today has said that President Bola Tinubu is working tirelessly behind the scenes, day and night, to rescue ensure the release of citizens of Nigeria who were kidnapped in Oyo State. He was given the assurance after the Jumat prayers at the Abuja National Mosque to commemorate the forthcoming 2026 Democracy Day. Prominent leaders and Islamic clerics gathered at the Abuja National Mosque for that special Friday prayer. Take a listen to him.
Our message to Nigerians is simple. Let's pray for the peace and stability of this nation, and to acknowledge the sacrifices made by our past heroes for the enthronement of this democracy that we are all enjoying now. And let's pray for the peace, stability, and progress of this great nation. And I want to assure Nigerians of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's unwavering commitment towards restoring peace and stability in the nation. He is working day and night to ensure the safe recovery of all our children who are in the hands of the bandits and the terrorists. No matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. Stormy the weather might well be, but it won't rain forever. The government remains irrevocably committed to restoring peace and stability of the nation.
Vice President Kashim Shettima after the Juma prayer earlier today. We have so much to talk about tonight on the state of the nation and security in the country. But before we get into all of that, I will be taking you into the internal politics of the NDC. Is a brand new party, fresh freshly minted, hoping that it's going to bring some hope to those who think that there's a new need for new energy within the political space. And that was the reason why a couple of people left their political parties and moved into that, but it does look like they are disappointed owing to the conduct of the political, that party's primary elections. Tonight, one of the aggrieved persons is in the studio with me, but before we get to hear from him, let's have some of your political roundup stars.
Some members of the Accord Party in Abuja have staged a solidarity rally in support of their presidential candidate, Mr. Gbenga Olawepo Hashim, notwithstanding the disclaimer from the national chairman of the party, Mr. Maxwell Mbuden, saying the party did not field a presidential candidate. The supporters are calling for the protection of their mandate that they gave to Mr. Olawepo Hashim to represent the Accord Party in the 2027 general election.
Primaries we conducted was just funfair. Okay, we will have more funfair like that.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress said the party is critically looking into controversies of manipulation, candidate imposition, election malpractices, and other undemocratic practices that characterize the APC primaries in some states. The APC chairman said this when he personally received a protest letter by stakeholders, party members, and civil society groups from Niger South Senatorial District. The protesters had come to submit a protest letter for what they called anti-democratic practices during the primaries. They also alleged that no election took place, but results were announced. They urged the party to do the right thing in the interest of fairness and justice. And leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Agege local government area of Lagos State have petitioned the party's national chairman, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, the National Working Committee, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, alleging that the outcome of the party's primary election for Agege constituency was altered. In a petition signed by the APC chairman and secretary in Agege local government, alongside executives from the 5 wards that make up the constituency, the petitioners claimed that Honorable Egunjobi Gani Yukola won the party's primary election conducted on May 20, 2026, but was subsequently denied recognition as the party's candidate. They argued that the published result did not reflect the outcome announced at the party's primary election and called on the national leadership of the APC to review the records of the exercise. To Ekiti State, where the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Wole Oluyede, is calling on the state government to immediately desist from using law enforcement agents to suppress and intimidate opposition political actors in the state. Mr. Oluyede made the appeal at a news conference in Ikere Ekiti. He cautioned that weaponizing instruments of state security against political rivals undermines democratic principle and creates an unhealthy climate of fear as the state approaches the June 20 governorship election. In a swift reaction, the chief press secretary to the governor of Ekiti State, Yinka Oyebode, says the allegation is baseless and unfounded, stressing that the PDP candidate should rather try and fix the party's internal crisis. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Nasarawa State, Senator Ahmed Wadada, has expressed appreciation to party leaders and supporters for their support during the just concluded governorship primary election of the party. Speaking at a press conference in Lafia, Senator Wadada described his emergence as the APC flag bearer as not a personal triumph, but a collective trust and a call to selfless service for the people of the state. Mr. Wadada also called on party members and supporters to remain united and focused on the task ahead.
New party, old problems. As far as we see, these are not the kind of problems you will imagine a new party will be facing, but yeah, they are in deep trouble. That's the NDC. The questions over the internal democracy, transparency, and credibility are once again taking center stage in Nigeria's opposition politics ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, is a new party led by Senator Seriake Dixon, now found itself confronting allegations of irregularities and dissatisfaction from some of its aspirants following recent primary elections. Among those raising concern is our guest tonight, Honorable Johnson Ehozua Agboyima, a senatorial aspirant for Edo South, who says the process fell short of expectation and has left many party members questioning the future direction of the party. His concerns come amid wider discontent expressed by other stakeholders, including prominent activists Aisha Yusufu, raising fresh questions about internal party democracy, leadership, reconciliation efforts, and whether opposition parties can effectively position themselves as credible alternatives to the ruling establishment in 2027. So what transpired? What really happened? Was this really rigged, or what really was the ticket sold, or what happened? Mr. Agboyima is literally not just on the ground, or he's not politically savvy enough to understand how the NDC operates. Let me be speaking with him tonight. I'm being joined by Honorable E.J. Agboyima. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much, my brother, Mr. Sheo Kimbaloye, and good evening to our viewers out there.
Yeah. You are very angry. You were angry when you left APC. You are probably you are angrier now as it is. And you are saying that you were rigged out of the primaries, or what exactly happened?
My brother, see, democracy is by the people, for the people, and of the people. Of course, we've got to have known each other for many years. You know my past antecedent. You know my political sagacity, what I always believe in, moving this country to the next level. That Nigeria can be a better nation if all of us collectively join hands together, regardless of your political affiliation, religious background. What is important, putting Nigerians first. I came back from America after many years to join the party in Nigeria. We started with AC, ACN, ACD, to APC, which, of course, later I moved from the APC to PDP. And from PDP, I went back to APC. I want to say this emphatically. I thought APC was bad. It's like living from fry pan to hellfire within a tickle of an eye. Less than how many months that I left. What I have seen so far.
In the NDC.
In NDC.
Is that bad?
My brother, see, I am highly disappointed. When I left, I wanted to go to PDP because of one of the finest leader from our state, that Chief Danobi. And I spoke to him. We had several meetings. But I wasn't convinced, so I left to join ADC. And to join ADC, which of course, Mr. Peter Obi, His Excellency Gwagwaso, was also in ADC. We had several meetings, and I discovered, I said, well, the way things are going, I think for me, I have to shift goalposts. We were talking to other political parties. I spoke to, some of us spoke to DLA, Democratic Leadership Alliance, DLA. Of course, the chairman is a barrister, Samuel Meme. At the point, I have opportunity to reach out to my own friend, my brother, my colleagues, the former governor of Bayelsa, and a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I placed a call. He said, EJ, come. I went and I met him. We spoke. I said, look, I'm contesting for House of Reps. He said, why House of Reps? He said, why can't you go for Senate? I'll give you the ticket for Senate.
He made that promise?
He made that promise.
Where was this?
This was
at his own...
In May, in his house.
In his residence?
Yeah.
In Guzape?
Yes, Guzape. So I said, look, let me think about it. He made this more than 4 times. My old friend, my brother, I was thinking of even calling one of my very close friends. When I contested for House of Rep, he supported me, Honorable Mighty Dwekeme. I called him. I said, come to Abuja. I wanted you to meet with Senator Seraki for the senatorial seat. So he was not forthcoming. So I spoke to another of my friend, Mr. Bibi, Sonia Gwebo. I related to him because he was contesting for Senate in ADC. And I told him, of course, Senator Seraki Dixon said, more than 4 times I should go for Senate. I told him, I said, since you have not contested you have not won any election, just like when Senator Dixon rightly asked, his brother was there. He said, has he won any election? Has he contested before? His brother said, yes, he has contested, but he have not won. He said, EJ, come and take the Senate. I called him and I said, look, come and take House of Rep. Let me go for Senate. I said, I've considered it, I'll go. So he agreed. He said, if not, let me give it to my brother. I'm too big for House of Rep. The following day, he called me to apologize. Look, I'm going to go for the House of Rep. I can go for Senate. Because both you understand, my friend, Senate, I've been to the House of Rep. It's not a new thing for me. I've been there. I've served this nation. I've been the board of directors of Nigerian Railway, Federal Commissioner, Code of Conduct Bureau, if not because of some sentiment of some greedy people, of some leader from Edo State. Mr. President issued that I should take over as acting chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau. Immediately, that memo came out, scrolling on Arise, Channels TV, TVC, AIT, NTA. One of our leaders was running from pillar to pole, trying to make sure I wasn't allowed to take over as Code of Conduct acting chairman. And unfortunately, and this is a man that I said, I called my leader, that is Senator, Adams Aliyu Shomole, that
Shomole blocked your
yes, he did.
Your ambition.
Now,
and you have evidence.
Of course. Those who
were you there when?
No, I wasn't there. Even what happened is that one of my friends, a former deputy director of NIA, National Intelligence Agency, was there. I was talking on TVC, praising comrade on national issues on TVC, I came back home. This young man came to my house. He said, my senior brother, you are very stupid. You are very silly. I said, you come to my house to insult me? He said, sit down. The man you were praising was, telling a leader not to allow, for me not to be, allowed to be the acting chairman of Kono Biru. I said, wait a minute. Is it true? Less than 2 months, I will mention the name, Dr. Matthias. Somebody took me to him. He's very close to SGF. He said, what happened? He met me at one of my auntie's house in his office. He said, you came to my house, listen to you again. Are you struggling with comrades? Are you all both of you struggling with girlfriend or whatever? I said, how? That's my boss. I served him when he was governor. I'm one of the closest persons. He said, he came to me and he also went to CSG. He was there. He said, if they allowed me to be the acting chairman, quote and unquote, SGA will be my first casualty. That I will jail everybody. Honorable Miko from River State, in another occasion, they were discussing myself in SGA, SGF office, the PAMSEC. They are retired now. They were discussing myself. Doctor, it's late now. Karo Jubo, Dr. Karo Jubo, was there with Miko when they were discussing my matter. Miko said, this man is a fine, complete gentleman. This is the kind of person we want to be in the helm of affair of a Code of Conduct Bureau. Guess what? At the end of the day, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, I was not allowed to take over. That is not even my problem.
So that was your anger in leaving the APC?
No, that's
because you think that Adams Oshiomhole was...
No, that's not even the issue.
Blocked the opportunity?
Even the city governor, I contested for the governorship of Edo. For God, I was the leading aspirant as at that time. I was in the campaign, in the podium, when my orderly brought the phone crying. What is going on? I pick up the phone. My daughter was crying. What is going on? He said my second son, had been shot, killed in Houston, Texas. My dear, I didn't even know how I got home. Now, for me, is it to continue on the race? I said no. Losing my son, I don't wish anybody, but even my worst enemy. A 23 years old, a month before his graduation, PhD, the University of Houston hired him to be teaching sophomore. They were paying that young boy $3,000 a month. My son gone. I went to Houston. The chief of police said, do you have anybody or you suspect? This could be political. We've done our investigation. We discovered that you were contesting for governorship. I said, I don't know anything about that. They said, because some people have done this in other part of the United States, in other country. It happens. I said, no, I don't think so. But, Mr. Sherry, you know what? You
think that your son may have been a victim of political...
No, I don't believe that. That's the chief of police that was saying that. The circumstances, I don't believe.
But let's go back to your senatorial ambition in the NDC. Honorable Agboyima, how did you, because you are very angry that you lost the senatorial ticket in the NDC.
No, it's not about I lost. I never lost.
You were rigged out?
Let me tell you the story. What happened is an aberration.
What was
in the political setting.
What was it?
Undemocratic. It is satanic.
What happened?
It's not allowed to stand the test of
what
time.
Really happened?
If we have to continue.
What happened?
If NDC want to stand in the path of righteousness, they should desist from their ways at the moment. They are young. Like what happened? It was Senator Siraki Dixon who told me, come and take Senate seat. It was Senator Siraki Dixon, the national leader of NDC, who told me, when he told me, Mr. Samuel Ogbemudia Jr., the son of the late Dr. S. Ogbemudia, the former governor of Bende.
Because of our time, we need to go straight. Because you don't really. Let's hit the nail on the head. What really happened? Did they take the ticket from you, or what happened?
Hold on. I won I won the election.
By what
based on, I won a goal with 529 votes. I won Ikbobaoha 697 votes. I won Oriomo 2,509 votes. Other who were there, I didn't win that. Ovia, I didn't. Ovia Northeast, Ovia Southwest. They cheated me out, no problem. Even if you calculate all the figures.
Who were you running against?
I was running, we have about 4 other aspirants. But what is appalling here is that Senator Seriake said, he never asked me, look at the nomination fund that was given to me. He told the National Public Secretary, called the National Chairman or National Secretary, that I should be giving my nomination form. I should go and pay for it, which I did. He said he never asked me. Samuel Bamudia was there when he told me, we spoke on phone. He spoke to me twice on this issue.
So it's Seriake Dickson that disappointed you?
Or he disappointed me in totality.
How? Did he take away the ticket from you?
Hold on. He now said that Chief Igbe, the Iyase of Benin, is sponsoring one lady who contested, who is also a contestant, an Ijaw lady. And he made a statement that, we know we don't like Ijaw. I said, how can you say we don't like Ijaw? Edo State, in my constituency, we have Igbo, we have Yoruba, we have Hausa, we have Ijaws. As a matter of fact, the riverine areas, which I was the federal commissioner representing them, I bought a lot of boats in the riverine area. They have always voted for me. The Ijaws. If you're talking about I don't like Ijaws, Tompolo gave me huge support. He was one of those who gave me support many years ago when I was doing business in Delta. Ijaw. Now, he said, he never told me, he never asked me, he denied. Now, he not told me, there's one man, BB, they call BB, I don't know him. Who is he? I said, it's one of my co-contestants. But when we had a meeting this morning, when BB was there, BB says, I have met you more than 4 times. Senator, where brought me to you? Here, my dear Shehu, I have to bury my head. That was when I stood up. He said that there's going to be an affirmation for the lady that they need a woman. I said, there is 2 issues here. The Electoral Act is very explicit and specific. You know, he said, this is the Electoral Act. 1, either by consensus or by direct primaries. For him to say that there's going to be an affirmation, so that is a breach, that is a violation of the Electoral Act. There's no such, you're a lawyer, there's no such thing, affirmation. You can't, somebody that didn't win, you want to affirm her, affirmation.
So your grievance now is that it appears that Senator Seriake Dickson, who was supporting you, who backed you, who gave you the confidence to say, go and run, go and obtain the form, at the last minute, is now backing up and supporting another person. Is that what happened?
That's what happened. Apart from that.
Now, was there anyone present when he made the promise to you? He said 4 different times he told you to go and run. Was there anybody present as a witness to the promise he made to you?
The cousin to BB, or the brother to Mr. BB, was there, if you want to be fair. He was there.
And he heard when
Senator
Seriake Dickson...
Yes, go and take the ticket.
I was convinced you that you should not do House of Reps, you should rather do Senate.
He convinced me.
So the allegations tonight that you're laying, which is directly on the feet of the national leader of the party, Seriake Dickson, that is imposing candidate and he has subverted the Electoral Act. That's your allegation?
Of course. And it's a foundation of the...
And what are you going to do about that?
Well, I'm going to consult with my leaders because I don't just walk alone. I have a lot of other contestants who won. They have been deprived. Today, Edo right now is at go with protest. People are angry.
Because of NDC?
Because of NDC. The way they have treated, not just only across the country.
Is that the same treatment they gave to Aisha Yusufu?
Of course. That's what. Did you see what Aisha Yusuf did at the Secretariat? Did you see what she did? Because how can you... That lady was popular. She was up to the scale. She deserved it. But she was ringed out. You can't ring me out. Let me tell you, I thought I was leaving APC. Not knowing I was leaving fry pan to hellfire. Listen to me, my brother. With the little time I spent, I go there. I said, The national chairman, wonderful human being, is a former senator, Zuwuhe, Senator Cletus. You have the national secretary, Barrister Ikena. You have the national organizing secretary. You have the national publicity secretary. All of them. How can this be accepted in the 21st century? And we are blaming that APC, PDP, ADC are not the ones to take Nigeria to Eldorado. Is this how we want to change Nigeria? Mr. Shehu, is this how we want to change Nigeria? If we cannot follow the Electoral Act, for God's sake, that never said anything about formation, that is very explicit about two fundamental, Section 86, Section 87, subsection 1, 2, 3. Shehu, I will read it to you for you to see, for Nigeria to see. 86, all direct primaries shall be conducted in accordance with the guidelines of each political party. A political party, that is Section 87 now, a political party that adopts a consensus candidate shall secure the written consent of all cleared aspirants for the position, indicating their voluntary withdrawal from the race and their endorsement of the consensus candidate. Subsection 2, where a political party is unable to secure the written consent of all cleared aspirants for the purpose of a consensus candidate, it shall revert to the choice of direct primary for the nomination of candidate for the elected position. Now, subsection 3 says, a special convention or nomination Congress shall be held to ratify the choice of the consensus candidate at the designated center at the national, state, senatorial, federal, and state constituency. The day ahead to this, they asked us at the time, they wanted to do in Benin. We revoked. They wanted to do this affirmation. We stood our ground.
So have they announced the winner in your senatorial district?
My question is that,
have they announced the winner?
I won the election. Since May 29, election was conducted. May 29, Mr. Shehu and Nigerians. Today is June 5th. Why can't they announce the result? What is holding
Who is responsible to announcing the result?
So the person responsible should be the national leader, of course, because he dictates. He's the one running the show. And for me,
a one-man party?
I'm not afraid. People have been calling me, threatening me. I should stop talking. Let me tell you, I'm not afraid to die. My son died. I didn't follow him. My mother died. This country belongs to all of us. Yeah. Nigeria must be rescued. Nigeria is bleeding. Yeah. Nigeria is seeking. And we must do whatever it takes. I don't have to be a senator. I don't have to be a House of Reps. I have served Nigeria. As a former board of director of Nigerian Railway, I gave service to this nation. As a former federal commissioner, Code of Conduct Bureau, I did so much investigation. Corruption has eaten us deeply in this country. I was a former member House of Reps.
So when you said that,
record,
when you
saw what I did.
You said that APC, you thought APC was worse. When you say that, in terms of primary, the content of primary, is that what chased you out of the APC, that you thought it was worse, and you now met a worst situation? Is that right?
Of course, APC, administratively, they are able to, at least, not 100%, you can say you give them pass mark. PDP, what killed PDP? Because of selfishness, not selflessness. Because Wike is not, hate him or like him. His Excellency Wike, if not him, PDP would have been dead. I was in the House of Reps. He sustained PDP throughout. Single-handedly kept PDP running.
So are you going back to PDP now?
I didn't.
What are your options?
My option is still on the table. People are calling me. The party we wanted to go to, that is DLA, that is Democratic, Leadership Alliance. That is the one. Even when we were in ADC, the national leaders that left, ADC to NDC, we went to NDC, we went to DLA, we reached out to them. But the young man, Barrister Samuel Meme, because he's young, but we were looking for somebody older, we all reached an agreement. But above all, they have an issue, my brother. Nigeria is bigger than us.
Give me a moment. I need to go on a break now. But when we come back, more on the state of the nation, our politics, and the 2027 after this break, everyone. Join us again. everyone for staying with us, and welcome back to the program. Honorable Johnson Agboyima, a member of the NDC, aspirant of the senatorial election in Edo State, has been speaking with us. Honorable, on a final note, your party was, what would that be? Because leaving the party is not off the table. You're very angry, you're very upset. Have you been able to see Senator Seriake Dickson personally, physically?
We had a meeting this morning. That is how all this thing came about. And I said, you know what?
Was he there?
Yes.
Were you able to confront him to say?
I walked out of his house. I walked out of his room. I walked away. I said, I cannot take this. I refused to accept.
Did he tell you that you are not going to get a ticket?
The way he spoke to me, talking about affirmation, and I told him there's no such thing. That's a violation of the Electoral Act. If you do that, for you to tell me to my face, affirmation, for God's sake, we have APC, presidential, Mr. President Tinubu, GCFR. We have ADC, former Vice President, His Excellency Atiku. We have, DLA, Democratic Leadership Alliance. Of course, their presidential candidate, Dr. Emmanuel Johnson, Chukwuka, who is also my namesake. We have so many.
So what will be your party words tonight?
My party work is that Nigerians need to stand up and rise up. This fight is not about EJ. It's not personal. It is about this nation. We must change this nation for good.
All right.
What is happening today in our dear nation is not acceptable.
All right.
But if we, the youth, the men and women, if we don't rise up to defend this country, to uphold, to protect and defend our constitution, which we have always violated over the years, Nigeria belongs to all of us.
All right. If
NDC can behave this way, just less than 4 months, I don't expect anything better or greater for Nigeria. So I'm happy there are other opportunities, there are other political parties that we should look in-depthly.
But there's a candidacy of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. Are you worried that the structure and the crisis may affect them?
Of course, it may affect them. If it can affect me, it can affect them.
But they've gotten the ticket.
He's not getting the ticket. You're talking about Yusuf, Aisha Yusuf, what happened? Do you think it's Mr. Gwagwaso or Obi? What has happened? I'm not going to go into that. That is their own.
Why are you Edo people having problem in NDC?
It's not only
Aisha Yusuf is Edo.
No,
you are also Edo.
No, it's not only Edo, Mr. Shehu.
It's
across the country.
Is that an Edo crisis in NDC?
No, it's not Edo crisis.
But that's just a joke.
That is not
that's just a joke.
It's an issue that have to be put to rest.
It's
a Nigerian issue. It's a Nigerian problem. It's across the 36 states, including the FCT. So we must stand for the path of truth, and we must speak truth to power. And Nigeria belongs to all of us. NDC, you must change, because this is not the way to go.
All right, thank you so much indeed. Tonight, let's turn our attention and speak with one of Nigeria's foremost human rights lawyers and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, who joins us at a critical moment for this country to discuss the worst insecurity situation, growing concerns over the safety of lives and property, to his 14-day ultimatum to the Attorney General of the Federation, demanding action to recover an alleged $120.5 billion and a 66.4 billion naira owed to the Federation account by operators in the oil and gas sector. Mr. Femi Falana, it's a pleasure having you on the program tonight.
Thank you very much, Sean.
There will be those who will say, how dare you, Mr. Falana, give the Attorney General of the Federation an ultimatum. What then happens if he doesn't listen to you after the 14 days ultimatum? Are you a court of law, or what exactly are you to have given the Attorney General of the Federation an ultimatum?
Well, I do not expect that the Attorney General will ignore my request, which is that we cannot be taking loans, running to billions of dollars, while the government is not prepared or cannot muster the political will to collect about $120.5 billion. And by the way, Sean, the information is largely in the public domain with respect to my request to the government. under the Buhari administration, the issue of the $62 billion, royalties that were not paid by the oil majors for 18 years. The case went as far as the Supreme Court. The governments of Rivers, Bayelsa, and Akwa Ibom sued the federal government with a view to compelling the federal government to collect the money. The Supreme Court ordered the federal government in October 2018, go and collect the fund. The federal government set up, gave the assignment to an accounting firm, and that firm came up with the figure of $62 billion. So the government attempted to collect the money, but one minister said, oh, it's going to be difficult for us to collect such huge fund. The other one, $6.1 billion and 64 billion naira, was disclosed by the NEITI, the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. That came out in its annual report of 2024. I'm sure that the EFCC have been trying to recover the money. I'm asking the Attorney General to work with the EFCC to ensure that that money is recovered and paid to the Federation account. Of course, I'm also asking the Attorney General to collect and ensure that the dividends paid by LNG, which are usually hijacked by the NNPC, are paid to the Federation account. Of course, I've also urged the Attorney General to collect $29 billion from some shipping and oil companies that engage in oil theft in Nigeria. Again, this is not a figment of my imagination. NIMASA gave a contract to some lawyers to find out between 2011 and 2014 how much was taken out of Nigeria without accountability. And that body came up with a figure of $12.7 billion. When the government was not ready, when the federal government was not ready to collect the money, this same set of lawyers, led by a respected senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Ajogu, went to court. The cases are pending in court. I'm saying we don't need to waste time in pursuing civil cases. These are criminal offenses that the Attorney General can hand over to the EFCC so that this can be investigated. Of course, there is also the usual of the Honorable that just left here, Honorable Johnson, headed a committee in the House of Reps that discovered that crude oil taken from Nigeria, not recorded here, but recorded in an airport in Texas, the money was valued at $17 billion. And of course, the last one is that in April 2021, August 2021, the former Buhari administration ordered the NNPC to award contracts worth $2.9 billion to fix the refineries, the 4 refineries. Since the refineries were not fixed, we're simply saying, take this money back from the contractors that collected the money. So this, again, as I said, the information is in the public domain. All I'm asking the government to do is to muster the political courage to collect this huge sum of money. And if the Attorney General does not accede to my request, of course, we are going to the court. So it may also interest. So
you are going to, you are dragging the AGF to court. It's either he accede to your request, listen to your ultimatum, act now, or you meet in court.
For sure.
That's it.
In fact, there is one I'm already in court. The Senate came up with a figure of 210 trillion that cannot be explained by the NNPC. We wrote to the Senate because, you know, you have these investigations from time to time, and at the end of the day, the reports will not see the light of day. So we wrote to the Senate, can you please give me a copy, furnish me with a certified true copy of your report? I was ignored. I've invoked the provisions of the Freedom of Information Act to demand for the report. We're asking the court to order the Senate
you are
to give us
also
the report.
probing and you are interested in the case of the refineries.
Yes.
You know the number. I mean, I had interviews with past Minister of Petroleum State where Nigeria got the funding with some private institutions or companies to fund the fixing or the rehabilitation of our refinery. But we are hearing now that Nigeria and the NNPC is also already talking to a Chinese company seeking another facility to fix the refinery.
Yeah.
Are you worried about, have you heard about that?
Of course, because the contract's sum was criminally diverted. I'm aware that the FCC is carrying out some investigation. Again, public officers will have to explain what happened to $2.9 billion. What happened to $2.9 for fixing the refinery. The other one, yes, of course, I'm aware the Chinese are coming, and they are insisting that it has to be a 51-49% arrangement. In other words, they want to have a controlling share. And since the government can no longer muster the fund to fix the refineries again, over $25 billion have been spent on fixing refineries in the last 27 years or thereabout. So we are now compared to meet the Chinese. Please, can you fix the refinery? I say, yes, we are ready. But we are going to take 51% of the shares. Another one that may interest you, Shehu, we are not there yet, is that the federal government directed NNPC go and acquire 20% interest in the Dangote refinery at a sum of $2.7 billion. The Dangote management of the refinery has said, sorry, only $1 billion was given to us, and that is valued at 7% shares. Again, some explanation will have to be given very soon. Because we can't be talking of these colossal sums of money while we are taking loans, while our people are suffering, you know, all over the place.
Mr. Falano, when you hear these things and you see what is going on in our country, and perhaps you look at Dangote, Dangote is flourishing. Say for Dangote, the crisis and the impasse in the Strait of Hormuz would have greatly impacted and dealt a big blow on our country, on our resources, on our income, revenue, and in fact on the average person. Say for, I mean, if not for Dangote, Nigeria, government is usually just a failure in being able to manage its own infrastructure and resources. But I'm just looking forward to 4 refineries. And there is a term going on everyone. The turnaround maintenance, we spend money every year. People are really doing nothing in those refineries every day, and they're getting paid, and that goes on and on and on every year for several years. What a disaster of a situation we have found ourselves in.
We now have laws that empower concerned citizens to demand explanations. We have the Freedom of Information Act now that has applications that can be applied in any part of the country. We're taking advantage of the law so that we can get to the root of this monstrous criminality going on, whereby the government cannot run the refineries, having pour money down the drain, huge sums of money. So we are asking questions now. Who are these contractors? Why are the contractors left alone? Some of them foreign contractors. So what they cannot do in their countries. So we are going to ask questions. Secondly, the government will have to account for every dime that has been spent on these refineries. Again, it's like you know, the Obasanjo regime was said to have wasted about $16 billion to generate darkness for the country. We can't go on like this.
Nigerians need to know that Buhari government spearheaded all the spending of this money. Yes, it's the same APC Bola Tinubu found itself, and his government has found itself in this quagmire, but he must fix it. Because that's the responsible. The president said it's the same thing with Buhari, so he doesn't want to pour the blame on Buhari. But we know that all of this mess happened, all of these monies were borrowed under the Buhari government. That must be fixed under this government because we can no longer continue in this manner.
Sure, it's under the PDP and the APC government. I will just mention the electricity sector. Somebody sold 18 electricity companies, according to a former minister, under the Jonathan administration, Alaji and Dr. Usman Shamsidin, that we sold the electricity companies to our friends. Now, the government has been giving, again, a lot of trillions of naira to the electricity companies. At the end of the day, you hear of Band A, Band B, and the rest of them. We are paying more for services that are not rendered to the Nigerian people. But we have got to the stage now where we have to ask questions. The electricity companies are planning to increase their tariffs again. Again, this time around, you will have to justify, because under the law, under the Electricity Act, you can only increase your tariff if there is improvement in services. So if we are getting, the situation is getting worse, there can be no justification for increase in tariffs. And I must go for the fuel. I mean,
so Falana, let me take you to the let me take you to the issue of security. And we're here, we saw a meeting yesterday where we have the leadership of the National Assembly. We saw the Speaker of the House, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Benjamin Okeze-Kalu. We saw Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, the Chief of Staff to the President, the IG of Police. They were in that meeting. And they said that they are nearing the finish line on the state policing agenda and the constitutional framework for that. That some way, does it gladden your heart that finally we're getting somewhere?
You know, these guys are only interested in creating agencies without funding them to work. We do not have a federal government police. I have made this point over and over again. We do not have federal government police. We have federation police. That is why it is called Nigeria Police Force. That force, it should be service really. It should be Nigeria Police Service, but being a colonial creation, it is called a force to mold down our people. But that is that. Now, Sheung, that force, Nigeria Police Force, shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Council. Who are the Nigerian members of the Nigerian Police Council? The president only as the chairman, the Inspector General of Police, the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and the 36 state governors. In other words, in that 39-member committee, the 36 state governors are members. Now, but unfortunately, the governors since 1999 have always abdicated their constitutional duty to the president. So the president alone administers, supervises, and organizes the Nigerian Police Force, contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. Under Section 216, Section 216 of the Constitution, the president cannot appoint or remove an Inspector General of Police without going to the council. But that council does not meet. It's the only security agency in Nigeria that does not meet. Hence, the governors are now talking of state police. And by the way, Sheung, there is no state government today that does not have a security agency. In the southwest here, they are likely called Amotekun Security Network. In Lagos, which did not have Amotekun, or which did not set up Amotekun, Lagos has Neighborhood Watch. In Borno State, you have civilian task force. In Kano, I think they have Ishbai, In the southeast, there are security agencies all over the place. So likely, we already have state police. But what is missing is that the federal government, again, because the governors refuse to call a meeting of, ask for a meeting, requisition a meeting of the Nigerian Police Council to demand for, to really request for weapons. How can you ask security personnel to go to the forest and confront criminals that are armed with AK-47 pistols, the Amotekun guys, and the rest of them are only allowed to bear locally made pistols, what you call dengons. Again, Sheung, it's not by this business of creating another agency, state police, that you are now going to police any society in Nigeria. How would they be funded? Are the armed forces funded?
Mr. Falano.
Is the Nigerian police force funded?
Mr. Falano, let me jump in. Yeah. And a few days ago, I got thinking, and it got me tired. And I thought that, look, over and over years and years, we've been talking about securing our country, the best modality, the best way forward. And a lot of the times, Nigerians are in despair. Nigerians are giving up. Nigerians are speaking ill, passing information. And it looks like things are really falling apart. And I'm wondering, what exactly can we do? The security guys need to do their jobs. The government needs to stand up and do the right thing. But again, as citizens, and I was asking, created the hashtag Unite Against Terror. Interestingly, I saw a lot of people commenting about it. But Mr. Falano, you saw what happened in Oyo State. There are incidents in Lagos State, we've seen the arrest, and there are those who are worried that this is coming down south. What is your major worry? If you're to speak with the president tonight on this program, let's assume the president is right across the screen from you. What would you tell him about this scenario that is playing out in our country?
Equip the armed forces, motivate the armed forces, equip the police force, motivate the operatives that are working in the security sector. I defend soldiers and military officers more than any law firm in Nigeria. I can say that without any, being immodest. And I know that the Nigerian armed forces that have taken part in more than 40 United Nations peacekeeping operations, African Union peacekeeping operations, and ECOWAS peacekeeping operations, and that have done very well and brought laurels to Nigeria, can, if funded, if motivated, defeat the ragtag army of the satanic Boko Haram sect or the ISIS. But what is happening, Sheung? You'll be surprised that between 2023 and 2025, the sum of 525 billion naira was earmarked as security votes by the 36 state governments in Nigeria. If a substantial fraction of what is set aside for security votes in Nigeria is spent on securing the people, we will not have this problem. The last one on your state. And please, if I had the opportunity, I would tell the president, please, one, a minister and a former governor that are currently inciting people in your state, politicizing the tragedy of our people. How can anybody in his right senses say that I know it was a state government that kidnapped the children? Please, if you know this, go to the police. Go to the state security service
Mr. Falano,
and lodge a complaint.
we're totally out of time. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And somebody says, I know
thank you
the
so much,
politicians
Mr. Falano.
that are responsible.
Yeah.
Why have you not reported them? So that you the
Falano,
parents of those who are the children that
thank you so much indeed. And that's why I raised that action for all Nigerians to stand together in the hashtag Unite Against Terror. We must, as a people, push our voices, push our actions, and also demand that our government must do the right thing. But let's push the fact that all of us as a people must unite against these criminal minds killing innocent people. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you very much.
God bless Nigeria.